I just wanted to welcome the ministers here today, and particularly the officials as well from, I suppose, Athlone, Tullamore and Dublin. I mean, I suppose Cocorges still to Gachtina, because it is a huge achievement to have the schools reopening again, and particularly when we've been through such a difficult time over the last number of weeks and months. I suppose we're here today to talk particularly about the reopening and about the safe and sustainable reopening. And it's great to see that the special schools are opening up again at full capacity this week, and that we have the junior, senior infants, first and second class coming back at primary school level. And we also have a clear map, an outline that's been issued here between the 8th of March, 15th of March, 29th of March, and then by the 12th of April that we'll have full return by all students to school. And again, this is provisional on us maintaining good public health guidelines, and that we're seeing that the numbers are coming down. Also, I'm very happy to see that students will have a choice in terms of the Leaving Cert, that they will have the option to sit exams or to actually sit the exams themselves or get the calculated grades or the accredited grades. I suppose, Minister Madigan, if I might ask, I'm very happy to see the extension of the supplementary programme by 10 hours and the commitment to the summer provision programme. I also was speaking with principals last week across a number of secondary schools, and one in particular acknowledged the ease that students have returned to school last week, and acknowledge the work that's been done by the departments and by yourselves and your teams to do this. And that's in conjunction with the principals and their parents as well. But can I ask, there was a question there in relation potentially to a programme over the summertime to allow students who have not been in like first year students that have not had the opportunities that all the other students would normally have had with exploring their schools, that there potentially could be a week or 2 weeks where there would be an introduction to school. I know a number of secondary schools are running that at the moment. Maybe that's something that could be considered under the inclusion programme, and also to help with the counselling side of things, and I suppose with first years coming into school. Minister Foley, if I could ask you just a couple of questions. And I'll pass it over them. But just in relation to the air monitors and meters, if you'd any update on that for schools. Secondly, just in relation to the Leaving Cert reform, if I could just ask you in relation to the senior cycle review advisory report, if there's any update on that. I suppose I would see that we have a great opportunity now to be looking at how we can look at the review of the Leaving Cert and potentially ways to use continuous assessment to better effect. Finally, Minister, I was very fortunate yesterday. I did have an opportunity to bring up about a school in my local area. I suppose I represent Roscommon and Galway, but we have the Desh Band 1 school in Ballinasloe. They are under space. They don't meet the current requirements in terms of classroom space and size. They are waiting for a new school. I suppose, could I ask you about the school buildings projects, and will they be accelerated? Because if schools cannot currently maintain physical distancing, how are they going to go forward? So I suppose if I could get an update on that. And thank you very much for your time, and well done on the rollout to date. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Just in terms of the air monitors and the whole question, I suppose, of ventilation and that, significant guidance issued to the schools, I suppose, in September when we returned, and again updated at the end of November, early December. And again, as I have referenced earlier, there was a significant review of all mitigation measures, pertaining to our schools in advance of the return to school just recently. So presently, the guidelines ensure, and the advice that has been offered in the guidelines as approved presently, is that windows should be open before class, windows open at end of class, windows open at a minimum during class, or at the very best, I suppose, really that school staff would use their best experience. And I'm conscious myself, having worked in classrooms, that there is excellent expertise, I suppose, available within the schools in that respect. However, just to acknowledge that there is in this respect also a high level task or advisory expert group looking at areas of ventilation, not just within the school setting, but indeed in other settings as well. And they are due to make their findings known in the not too distant future, is my understanding. And should there be a specific recommendation for any new or additional mitigation measures, then obviously, as I've outlined earlier, we will most certainly adapt, as we always have had, with any new issues or new measures that have been asked to be put in place. Just in relation to the senior cycle review, The NCA are currently finalising its report, to the best of my information, and I look forward to that report insofar as that report is likely to form the basis, no doubt, for further discussion, but indeed ultimately for decision making. And you are quite correct that there, I suppose, given the current environment in which we're living, there is a new light, shining on senior cycle and that. So I await that report. And just in terms of the specific issue you raised in relation to a school in your own constituency in terms of DESH Band 1 and the school building programme, we are progressing apace with the school building programme, and even in the midst of this pandemic, we are looking forward towards the completion of more than 200 building projects this year. And in mid-year, June, July time, we are looking to the commencement of at least 145 projects. So, we are continuing apace with, which is a very important programme within the department, and acknowledging, the need to meet the needs of our school communities. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister.
Senator,
you have about 30 seconds left, because I did interrupt you. So
I suppose just if I might bring in Minister Madigan there, I think I just had a query on a programme that might be potentially one for over the summertime. And I suppose just one final comment is just that, Minister, I suppose just with the CAO, that we are putting in programmes to support students now who are applying for the CAO. So I suppose engagement with the Department of Further and Higher Education will be really crucial, particularly if they're going to be looking at spaces. From what I understand, there's been an increase of over 6,700 in applications for the CAO programme this year. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. Just about the summer provision, there was about 14,000 who took it up last summer, and it was expanded to Down syndrome children post-primary and preschool. And there's work ongoing as well for this summer, so we're looking to expand it further again. Thank you. And I'm working with Minister Harris as well in relation to the other matter.